Mitch from Jans, welcome to Gearbox.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's great to be here.
You've brought with you a lovely Helixnet from ClearCom.
Yeah, I certainly have. ClearCom Helixnet. ClearCom have been touting this product as being their next generation of partyline product for quite some time. It's been in the works for a long period of time. In fact, to the point where it was actually released at some stage and then they weren't happy with it, so they actually pulled it back. They've made some major technological advances in terms of what partyline can offer you with Helixnet. And I believe that, you know, this is the next evolution of partyline systems.
Okay, cool. Now, in terms of what it can offer you, obviously we've got our base station, which has 4, I guess, channels.
Yes.
And then we've got our belt packs, each of which is a 2-channel unit.
Correct.
Now, the thing is, these belt packs you can actually adjust. You can point each side of the belt pack to listen to any of those 4 channels.
Any of those belt packs can pull any 2 of those 4 channels down one single mic cable.
Okay.
And again,
not only those, but you get your program output as well.
That's right, and it's a user selectable program level, which actually stops you from having to put program on one particular line and having people kind of argue about how loud it is, or it's too loud, or what's going on. Each user can actually select how much program they want to actually be able to listen to,
and
whether they want to listen to
not only in the headset, but also you can get the output off the back of the belt pack.
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now, the interface to the belt packs is via the power line system. Obviously,
Correct.
There's 2 sets of power line ports, male and female.
Yes.
One for each loop.
Yes.
I guess. And also, we've got a couple of card slots, and that gives us other interfaces, 4-wire, 2-wire.
That's
Anything
correct.
else on the cards?
Yeah, so essentially at the moment we have a 2-wire and we have a 4-wire. This will allow you to get into things like your standard analog party line system. So this is a digital party line system. It's not analog by any means. In fact, it's more based around I guess, more of a matrix type facility, the way that a matrix would work. So you have a 2-wire interface card, which allows you to go into your standard 2-wire, but it doesn't power the line, so you actually have to have a interface to power.
Yep.
You have a 4-wire card, which will give you 2 channels of 4-wire coming out, which can be basically selected to go on any of the 4 channels. Doesn't matter which one.
Do that via the menu, which is cascaded.
That's right.
The waterfall style.
That's correct.
Yep.
And then they will also be bringing out an Ethernet card for it. Now, the Ethernet card is basically a 2-port switch, essentially, and that will allow you to have some redundancy in terms of actually networking. Now, the networking feature is actually quite cool because what they're doing, the Helixnet system, it works on Powerline, which is your standard Powerline technology, which ClearCom have actually tweaked in order to be able to get the right amount of voice data that they want out there, and for also cable length considerations. But the IVC, or the IV core, which is an intelligent voice router, is used across a lot of the different products within ClearCom. So ClearCom are going very IP-centric. They're trying to use this technology in order to be able to maintain customers' network-centric or even corporate network system, and then be able to have some production communication systems.
So you drop
on
your
there
production layer into an existing system, saves you
That's right.
rebuilding a whole other infrastructure, basically.
That's exactly right. And because it's so little data that's actually taking up any of that network bandwidth, it allows you to be able to coexist quite easily with a corporate LAN or a corporate network without having to worry about, oh, am I going to bring down the network? You know, is too much data going to bring down the Helixnet system or any of the other ClearCom system? Now, with this IV core technology, this is a technology that's been developed by ClearCom, so they actually own the technology for it. It not only appears in the Helixnet system, but it appears in the Matrix systems with their IVC card, their IVC32.
So you'll be able to get the Helixnet system to talk to your Matrix.
That's correct, yeah. So that's exactly what they're working on at the moment. Not only the linking feature between 5 independent base stations to be able to share all the resources, not only each of the channels, so giving you up to 20 channels, 5 base stations times 4, but also any of the interface modules that you have on here, the program, the stage announce, all of those will be available at your belt pack.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
The IV Core technology is also written into their software program, which is called ClearCom Concert, and that will all be able to talk over this one network. So, and give you a complete communications network out to hardwired panels, out to soft panels, out to your software style panels, and into the Helixnet product itself. So this is all in the roadmap for the Helixnet system, as well as ClearCom's total roadmap.
Now, talking software, you just mentioned that, and that's an interesting point. Obviously, because it is a digital system, there's software and all of this stuff.
Yes.
If you upgrade the base station, the Beltpacks will basically self-upgrade or downgrade in software versioning to make sure they work with the base.
That's exactly right. So it's a really simple process to be able to have firmware put into the system. Essentially, you'll see on the front there'll be 2 USB slots there, so a normal USB and a micro USB. This allows you to take pretty much anything that you want, put it in there, flash drive, whatever it happens to be, to upgrade the master station. Then the master station manages all of the firmware on the Beltpacks. So you could essentially upgrade the firmware in the master station and not use that for a period of time, so your Beltpacks may be out of date. You simply come up to your XLR cable or your patch point, you plug in your Beltpack, and your Beltpack will automatically update for you. Now, they are talking about having a feature put into this which will allow you to go, do I want to be able to upgrade the firmware, or do I want to run on the current Beltpack firmware, just in case you grab one off the shelf during a gig and have to plug it in really quickly for whatever reason, an extra person comes on or whatever. So
you don't want to be upgrading firmwe're in the middle of a show.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, the Beltpacks, these are nice and solid. We've got some nice ClearCom headsets, and in fact, we've got a fair bit of ambient noise going on in the studio today. We've got a couple of cooling fans happening and stuff. And I think the audio is pretty clean out of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Where you're actually listening to us on, obviously, the ClearCom Helixnet system. 2-channel Beltpack, nice and easy, glow in the dark, really cool OLED displays here and on the base as well. And they're pretty tough.
Yeah, as you can see, I mean, you know, they are a shark fin design on the front, which is actually a form meet function type, industrial design. They're a heat sink because there is actually a modem and a CPU in here, which is doing a lot of processing work.
Yep.
So that allows it to be able to stay around about ambient temperature. So they reckon maybe a degree above ambient. But you know, these have been on for a little while, and they're actually quite cool, which is nice. There's no active active bulkheads or any active components needed to actually split any of these, so you might be able to
that's the other cool thing. Cabling topology. This is just a standard Y split. It cables up pretty much the same way as a standard party line system. In fact, you could, with the cabling possibilities for this, there's no reason you couldn't just drop this in place of an existing system.
And that's what ClearCom thought about. You know, ClearCom have been developing party line products for over 40 years, right? So they've got a lot of experience behind it. And a lot of people have been using party line products for around that time, right? So they don't want to be able to go, okay, well, now I have to replace my entire cable infrastructure, you know, bring in, you know, either digital cable or something along those lines. You just want to be able to literally take out your old analog party line system, put in your Helixnet system, and off you go.
Now, cable choice, obviously we're running this on mic cables, but because of the nature of the power line, you can run this on other stuff. There's some options for things like Cat5 and so on. Exactly.
Basically, anything you can tie pretty much down to an XLR you can use for this. So in terms of cable infrastructure and Cat5 or Cat6, whatever it happens to be that's already in your venue existing, you can just create a little cable that goes from XLR to Cat5, plug it straight into a port, have it patched straight back to this system or to a patch panel and bring it all in, and then you can use the system over Cat5. And essentially all it's doing is just using the wires to be able to go, you know, here's your digital signal, here's your power line.
Now, there is obviously an important distinction between a power line signal going down a Cat5 and an IVC signal. If you try and stick a power line through your network switch, bad things will happen.
That's right.
But yeah, that certainly gives you a few other options as far as deployment goes. Well, there you go. It's pretty cool, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Helixnet from ClearCom.